What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Baby Sloth back at it again, bringing you a brand new video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the best PvP skill tree for the Sunbreaker. Now this is actually kind of a difficult decision really, because Code of the Fireforged and Code of the Siegebreaker were pretty similar in terms of their skill level. None of them are the most optimal skill trees, I would say, so you don't really want to be rocking into competitive with any of these unless you are really comfortable with the class and you just love it. But for quick play, they seem to be very, very good. Both of them seem to be very good for quick play, and that's kind of what I'm going to base this decision off, because most people play quick play. If you were going to go into competitive, both of these could do relatively well, yes, but they're not going to be S tier like some of the other classes that the Titan has available to it. But the best one out of the three, in my opinion, since the Forsaken came out, you had Code of the Devastator, which just in my opinion doesn't really cut it, because the super is nowhere near as good as the actual throwing hammers itself. So it actually comes down to Code of the Fireforged, and now I'm going to break down why I believe this is the best skill tree for the Sunbreaker in terms of PvP. Now this should really need no explanation whatsoever. Hammer Strike, while sprinting, use this melee ability to swing a blazing hammer that weakens enemies, and when it says weakens enemies, it kills them in one hit. This is essentially shoulder charge, but just for the Sunbreaker, and my god is it effective, and my god is it fun. If you're a really aggressive player who likes to get up in the enemy's grill, likes to get all up in their business and shotgun quite a lot, this is very, very good for starting off engagements, because you start off with 2 bullets, so it made me feel a lot more comfortable in terms of engaging multiple targets, for instance 3 to 4 targets, because I know that the second that I kill the one, I've got the 2 shotgun bullets to get the next 2, and then luckily if I can manage to slide and pick up an ammo brick, I'm going to be able to take out the 4th as well. But I got loads of really nice aggressive plays that I'm displaying in the background now, with basically starting off all the engagements with Hammer Strike, or using it midway through to basically just change the tide of battle. Honestly, Hammer Strike is a really effective tool to have in your arsenal, and that's the main reason why I think Code of the Fireforged just pips Code of the Siegebreaker. The next perk is Tempered Metal. Solar ability kills grant you and nearby allies bonus movement and reload speed. Now this is overall a quality of life perk. Basically, after you get any solar kill, you're gonna get your movement speed and you're gonna get your reload speed increased. Sadly, it doesn't have the same perk as Code of the Siegebreaker, which is Solar Invictus. Solar ability kills restore your health, grenade, and melee ability energies. So Sol Invictus, in my opinion, is a lot better than Tempered Metal, and it's just a shame that it isn't on the actual top tree, Code of the Fireforged. But Tempered Metal isn't necessarily a bad perk, but it's just not as good as the one below it. But overall, I still believe that Code of the Fireforged is a better skill tree. Next up here, we have Vulcan's Rage. Hammers shatter into explosive molten embers on impact. Now this just makes the super a whole lot more lethal. Basically, when you're throwing the hammers, they will actually explode on impact, giving them a bigger blast radius, leading to you not having to hit the opponent directly in order to kill them, but also allowing you to usually pick up double and triple kills if the enemies are in close proximity to one another when you are actually throwing the hammers at them. So this just makes the super a lot more lethal, which is another reason why I believe this Code of the Fireforged is the best PvP skill tree out of the 3. And then the final perk on this skill tree, Explosive Pyre. Enemies killed by Hammer of Salt explode. Even more explosions. So basically, these 2 perks combined, Explosive Pyre and Vulcan's Rage, just basically allow the super to be a lot more lethal. Gonna be giving you a lot more blast radius, so you don't have to hit the enemy dead on, and also allowing you to pick up multi-kills a lot more easier with the super. So if the enemies are in close proximity, you're gonna most likely kill the first one or the 2-in-1 hammer, gonna damage the next one, but killing the first person successfully is gonna lead to Explosive Pyre to proc, which is basically going to allow them to explode, and then you're going to kill the other one. So basically, these 2 perks all geared around making the super even more deadly than it already is. And let me tell you now, the actual hammer super is one of the best supers on the game, full stop. Even though these classes aren't them strong themselves, if you went into Mayhem with this class, you would absolutely destroy, because this is definitely one of the strongest supers on the game. The other 2 perks, Hammer Strike, obviously giving you shoulder charge, a really nice ability to have if you do like to play aggressively. And then overall, the Tempered Metal, not the best perk you can have, but still it's giving you a little bit of utility, in the sense that when you're picking up some solar ability kills, you're getting your movement speed and your reload speed increased. Now in terms of playing with this class, I'd also recommend running with the Incendiary Grenade, because I believe this grenade is really good if you can get used to using it. You basically need to bounce it off a surface in order to get the most out of it. So when it's going to explode, you want to bounce it off a surface. Now I'm showing you an example of the background here. I throw it and bounce it off the floor, and I also throw it and bounce it off a wall in order to kill an enemy and get around their Titan shield, and it can be very effective if you do get used to using it. So I definitely recommend, if you do want to play Code of the Fireforge, getting really used to them incendiary grenade bounces. It's going to help you in the long run. And I would also recommend, definitely on this class, if you are planning on maining it, make sure that you do spec out your actual armor, so you do have super ability mods, because the super is so lethal on this class and it's the main asset that the class has available to it. You want to make sure you're getting it as often as possible, because it's just absolutely ridiculous when you get it going. You're going to see in some of the clips in the background, I'm picking up so many multi-kills so easily because the super's just doing such a good job. Let's take a look at some of the exotics that best suit Code of the Fireforged. Hellfire Heart improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, greatly improves recharge rate while your super is charged. Now this is just going to overall help get all your abilities up quicker, and like I said, anything that's helping you get your super up quicker is definitely a worthwhile perk having. You have the Syntheseps, increase melee lunge range, improve melee and super damage while you're surrounded. Now this is again very effective for the super. You're going to be often surrounded by a lot of enemies when you're in your super. This is going to allow your super to be even more potent. But improving the melee range on the Titan is also a very good quality of life change for PvP, because their melee range at the moment isn't the best. So if you can put this on to improve that range, it's going to improve your close quarter gameplay a lot better, and this is a close quarter class, so I would recommend putting on the Syntheseps if you do really want to play very aggressive. Now another melee gauntlet which is also very effective, you also have the ACD feedback fence. Melee kills build energy. Being struck by a melee attack reduces incoming damage and unleashes the energy into a devastating explosion. So this again is a very close quarters armament that basically allows you to win them melee battles a lot more often. So it's pretty much a toss up between these and the Syntheseps on which one you would like to actually use, but they're both very effective in their own right. And finally, the best PvP exotic going for the Titan at the moment, I'm pretty sure you've all seen it, and I'm pretty sure you've all been very angry with it in the Crucible if you've seen it, the one-eyed masks. Marks the enemy that dares to damage you, track down and destroy your enemy for increased damage and overshield. Now this is absolutely ridiculous at the moment. I don't know how this thing has not been nerfed. If you have this exotic and have not tried it at the moment, for goodness sakes, put it on and give it a go. You'll be an absolute slaying machine. If you have any Titan class at the moment, this is the helmet to wear, because it is just so ridiculously overpowered in the Crucible at the moment. Basically any enemy that attacks you in a gunfight, something that happens quite a lot in the Crucible you would imagine, you're going to basically get a mark against them. If you kill that enemy, you're basically going to get increased damage and an overshield for a short amount period of time. Now with the super, this is absolutely ridiculous, because of course if you see someone with a flaming hammer charging towards you, you're most likely going to want to shoot at them. So when someone shoots at you in your hammer, you're going to kill them. Then once you kill them, it makes it even more difficult for the next person to kill you, because now you have an overshield. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The chain reaction of events that can ensue if you have this exotic just gets insane and crazy. But sadly I don't have it, so I'm absolutely gutted. But when I do, I can tell you now, I'm going to be causing some serious damage in the Crucible. But overall, yeah, this is the best exotic to use if you do have it, but because it's a Forsaken exotic, it's like gold dust right now and very hard to come by. But overall, this has been my review on why Code of the Fireforged is the best Sunbreaker skill tree for PvP right now. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, guys, please consider leaving a like down below, and also please consider subscribing, because I'm going to be carrying this series on and also adding some new Destiny content to my channel. So be sure to keep up to date with what I'm up to if you do like what I'm putting out so far. But I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, guys, and have a great day.